Switching topics, under high inflation, college degrees are becoming unaffordable, and Gen Z is turning to the trades. We spoke to a carpenter who went viral on TikTok earlier this week about why more young Americans are rethinking their career paths.
You know, it seems like the stigma is definitely still there, but I think it lessens over the years. I mean, we've seen it kind of go away as we put the trades in more of a positive spotlight on social media. And I mean, at the end of the day, if you call a plumber, they're not coming out for $50. It's a couple hundred. So there's no shame in putting on a tool belt and working, in my opinion.
Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin joins us now. Senator, it's great to have you. Thank you for being here. And a fun fact about you, before you headed to Washington, you were a businessman. You were a plumber yourself. So I'm curious what you make of Gen Z becoming more of a tool belt generation.
Well, think about it. You have, and we have plumbing, electrical, and HVAC companies, not just in Oklahoma, but across the country right now. And my plumbing techs, let's just say in Oklahoma, my German plumbing techs are making well north of $100,000 a year. My HVAC techs are doing about the same thing, and my electrical techs are too. I started 26 years ago at 19 years old running a service truck. At 20 years old, I'm in business for myself with my wife, who's 19 years old. And at 25 years old, we were already well north of 7 figures of income coming into the companies, and we just never slowed down from there. It's a great industry if people want to get into it, except sometimes it has this stigma because, Jackie, for a long time, we were told, go to college, go to college, go to college. And I'm nothing against that. There's absolutely nothing against that. But every one of my kids, my boys, for sure, I have 6 kids, my boys all know how to do plumbing and HVAC work. They grew up in the plumbing truck, and they're in college right now. So you can do both. But you can also be very successful without having all this debt. In fact, here's what's interesting. You can go get a trade and get paid while you're learning the trade. Right. You carry no debt. You actually are making money, and then when the trade is done, which most apprenticeship programs are 3 years in most states, some years are 4 years, you're coming out with a 6-figure income.
Well said. Senator, we love having you on, particularly on Inflation Day in America. What is the plan to rein in big government spending to help slow down this inflation?
Well, the 2 ways to eliminate some of the spending is don't send as much money up here. We need to keep the money back in the state and back in the pockets of entrepreneurs. That means we need to extend the tax cuts that Trump put in place. We need to make those permanent, and then we need to rein in regulation. You can't afford to go in business hardly for yourself today, especially with manufacturing, because we've regulated people out of business. And so if we can get government out of our way, entrepreneurs, the states, the counties, the cities that we live in, they'll welcome those individuals. And so it's not really hard. It's just saying, hey, Washington, D.C., you don't know best. The people back in the backyards in the states, they know best what's better for their economy. And it's just simply us reining in inflation by saying the cost of doing business is so high because every regulation you put in place costs something, and that has to go on the top of the consumer product that's being bought.
You are speaking supply-side music to my ears. I understand you're going to meet with former President Trump tomorrow, obviously going to talk economy with him. What are you going to emphasize?
Well, I consider President Trump a very close friend of mine, and I mean that sincerely. I support him as a friend way before even the policy side of it. But what I think really is going to happen tomorrow is that we're all going to get on the same page. You know, the enemy isn't inside the Republican Party. Our enemy is what's happening in the White House. That's what's happening to America. That's why 38% or 36% of the American people right now don't support the economy that President Biden is forcing us to live under. And so it's really about getting us all on the same page. There's some differences. We're Republicans. There's going to be differences, but we shouldn't be aiming at each other right now. Our goal is to make sure that we're all on the same team and we're going to win the Super Bowl in November.
Yeah, absolutely. Senator Markwayne Mullin, great to see you today. Thanks for making the time.
Thank you.